Yes, so welcome, Minna. I would love if you could tell us a little bit about yourself and what you do, and then maybe we dive into your film, Small versus Big.
Thank you so much. I'm Minna Dufton from Helsinki in Finland, and I'm the director of Big versus Small.
Sorry,
Um,
big versus small.
Big
Sorry.
versus Small.
Yes.
It's a documentary about Portuguese big wave rider Joana Andrade, who travels to Finland for an extraordinary training session under the ice. About me, I'm a journalist by background. I've been, I've only ever worked in TV. I've loved every minute of it. I've now been in the industry for 22 years this year and made a number of documentaries and series and yeah, I'm very inspired by women's stories in particular, stories about strong women and people who kind of put themselves out to do things, a bit like you.
Well, yeah. Well, I think we're all champions. I mean, we have, of course, different challenges in life, and when we overcome them, it is definitely, a triumph for all of us.
Exactly.
I think so many women can relate to Joanna's story, and it's such an honor to have this film screening at our festival. It's very, very powerful. This film, with the waves and everything, but with Joanna in the center. Wow, what a character! I mean, and that's maybe my first question. Where did you find her? Wow, wow.
It's a good question. I come from Finland, and as you and most people probably know, we're not known for big waves here. Um, and yeah, I came across big wave surfing on the internet. I found a story about women in the US surfing big waves. This is about 3 years ago, and I just couldn't help but get hooked on this topic. And the question that came to my mind straight away was, why would any woman put themselves in that situation, surfing monstrous waves of 30, 40 meters high, with a real risk of losing your life or your health every time you go. And I went through the keyhole on the internet and did started getting really into the subject. I found myself, you know, learning how to surf and things like that I knew were leading me into actually making a film. I knew it. You know it when something is pulling you and forcing you to do things. And yeah, I found myself on a surfing course in Portugal, and on that trip, which was in March 2018, I heard about Joanna for the first time, and that was through
Mm.
meeting some members of the big wave surfing community in Portugal and talking with them, and yeah, hearing about this one woman in Portugal surfing in Nazaré, where the world's biggest waves are. And I knew I had to find her, and so I asked for her email address and introduced myself, and yeah, gladly she emailed me back.
Wow. Wow. Okay, what a wonderful story. So you actually just found out about her in Portugal while
Yeah.
doing a surfing seminar yourself.
Yes.
Oh my God, that sounds so, like there's no coincidences there. Like it's, you were supposed to meet, right?
Yes, I do believe that. And I was supposed to go there, and I was supposed to do all that background research for this story to open up. And I think when you put yourself in that situation of being somewhere where you really don't know, you are so open to a story coming to you. And this is exactly what I did. This was my first film after leaving Yle, Finnish broadcasting company, where I had worked for 9 years, and I set up my own company, Rakari Films, and this is my first production under my own production company, and I'm focusing on films directed and written by women.
Congratulations on the film. Uh, as I've told you, it's really amazing. It's a story, of course, also that is about empowerment of women, uh, and it's interesting in the story in the film where Joanna is talking about the equality of the money that they win after competing. And in the end, the the surfing competition association, I'm not sure what it's called, but they agree to give women the same winner's prize. And that was like, oh, I think I jumped out of the sofa. I was like, oh my God, yes. And,
Yes,
and that's thanks to women like her.
exactly.
Um, I have very many questions, endless questions. I have so many papers. I also have a journalist background, so I do my research. But so I really want to. So Joanna is a very interesting character. Aside from her triumphs on the waves, she is dealing with anxiety. With afraid of being to drown while she's surfing, and you really go into that, and she's so sincere, she's so vulnerable in the film, and obviously you guys had a great connection,
Mm-hmm.
and it really shows. How did your relationship develop? Like after she answered your email, can you tell us a little bit how it progressed, and then what happened?
I think at first she was a bit surprised that someone from Finland would contact her and want to make a film about her. But then she had said that she thought, well, why not? And so we agreed to meet, because obviously that's really important before you make any decision on going into a film making process. And yeah, I traveled back to Portugal in June 2018, and on that trip, I spent 2 or 3 days getting to know Joanna. And yeah, it was amazing, from the moment we met, because we're both tiny. She's 156 centimeters tall, and I'm 158. So there was something there instantly, we were very much alike, I think. And yeah, we spent some time together. Joanna showed me around her hometown of Ericeira, which is beautiful, by the way. And I fell in love with all the cinematic um, surroundings of her life. I was just like,
Amazing.
my mouth open, like everywhere, thinking, really, this is it? This is where your garage is, right by the Atlantic Ocean. Like,
Right.
it was a filmmaker's dream, and of course it was what she was kind of prepared to share with me that really struck a chord with me. There is a little piece in the film that I filmed with my own camera on that trip in June 2018, where she puts on one of those safety vests that the surfers wear, and tells me how she operates it, and that still, get such a warm feeling when I watched that, because it was the first time I ever put a camera in front of her. And on that day, she began to tell me about her story, and about what happened to her and what really drove her to the waves. And so on that trip, I got much closer to that question that I got when I first heard about women surfing big waves. That question about why would any woman go and put themselves in that situation, that began to unravel. And obviously, Joanna was ready to tell her story and about the trauma that she experienced in her childhood and how that had affected her life and everything that followed. So yeah, I felt I'd arrived at a huge story, and I was so grateful that she trusted me with it. She trusted this, um, you know, little Finnish person who just emailed her, and yeah, and then I warned Joanna that next time I was gonna come and see her, I'd bring a few people with me, and that we'd have more cameras, and there'd be few more people around, and that it would actually turn into a little bit, more of a bigger thing that maybe, at that initial meeting, she maybe thought of. But she was fine. My team were all like a big family, and we all got to know Joanna very well during the production. We spent a lot of time together, as you do on a documentary, and yeah, I got the feeling that we were all in the same boat, and Joanna kept saying that to me from the beginning, because I had trouble finding funding for making this film, and I had to really push the boat over a mountain to get it made.
Yeah.
And every time Joanna would say, we're in the same boat, and we still say that, we're still in the same boat. And I think that's the best thing about this whole movie, that I felt that we were truly in the same boat from the beginning. We were very open. We trusted each other. I obviously still can't believe she surfs those waves. Every time I saw her do that, um, I just could not believe what I was seeing. And I think she's the same with my filmmaking, that she can't believe I actually got this made, and that I'm here now, and we're here now. And it's been a huge journey, and I feel that personally I have dropped some pretty big waves, to get here, and I'm so happy to be here, and so glad that so many people are going to get to see this. And
Yeah, I mean, it's such an inspiration in so many ways. And yeah, you obviously got like a great relationship with her, because it really appears, I feel, in the movie. So there was this scene where she's walking around a little bit, going into this church, and we can see her pray. Then she's really like telling us about her past, her childhood, and her trauma. And it's such a, when I was watching her walking, I was like, she could be anyone, she's, we're all, we all have our challenges, and, we're all dealing with something through life. But she's, used it into doing something amazing, that, trauma, anxiety, and she's just pushing it out. But then again, you show what she does with, how she keeps herself sane, or like, earth, on the earth, when she has her headphones on, and she's like doing exercises, and listening to music, and you can really see how she's like talking to herself, creating something within herself to push herself more. And I think it's just such an amazing, like, we can learn so much from her, from this movie.
Absolutely.
Yeah. And there are like scenes. I really love the scene that you spoke about, when she's showing you how the works with the life vest. But wow, what an incredible story behind that scene.
Yeah,
And
that never forget.
no, yeah, it stays with you, right? So how was it when the crew came? Was she okay with all the cameras, and because she
Yes,
looks very good, not
thank
like,
you.
yeah.
She was okay. She got to meet some of my crew already in Finland when she traveled to meet Johanna Nordblad, the freediver, who was the other woman in the film. And on that trip, she got to meet my cinematographer Sake Kantosalo, producer Heidi Richert, and a group of other lovely people that were there to make this film, and we spent 3 amazing days here in Finland, where I think that was a big team building event at the same time, actually, because we spent 3 very intense days doing very intense things. That, yeah, there was kind of like we were in our own bubble so well from the beginning that we managed to build a really strong bond, and that bond stayed, throughout the whole experience, and it's still there. I feel it's a
I can just imagine, you know.
yeah. And I think these things, choosing who you work with, for example, the type of people that you work with, it's so important in filmmaking, because the atmosphere that you create together on set and off the set, when you have your lunch and your dinner and this kind of thing, it really transfers into the end product. You can so
Yes.
tell what the feeling has been from watching what you're seeing. And scenes like the one in the church that you just mentioned, where she goes and sits there and is deep in thought. There was 3 of us in the same, space with
Mm.
her, and she could be in herself. She felt, um, even with us being there, she, I mean, Joanna is very exceptional with her mind anyway. She's someone who is very in tune with herself and who has a very strong mind that she can do anything with. That I think she's also used to being able to go into herself almost anywhere. She really could teach us so many things, and I have learned so much from her about dealing with the mind. But yeah, um, we clicked from the beginning, and that led us to many amazing situations. And I'm you know I'm so grateful that I emailed her, and
Oh
in a
my gosh, I can
yeah,
just imagine.
yeah.
Yeah, talking about this whole mindset and all of that. Johanna, the Finnish woman, Nordblad, Johanna Nordblad, she takes her on a huge challenge in Finland. I mean, that's just, where she goes into like she's cutting up the water, like creating a pool. It's like, wow. And she's telling us, it's so visually beautiful. And like, you see the whole thing that she's doing. And she's telling Joanna, like, it's in your mind, all with a mindset. And she says something on the note where it's like, if you feel good about things, you start to feel good in the situation.
Mhm.
You calm yourself. And so it's like she talks about both of them really throughout the movie, how important it is to find out how you can really go through things with the right mindset.
Yes.
And I think that's such an inspiration. And I mean, seeing also that you were describing this with Joanna, her going inside of her mind, like kind of like everything vanishes. I mean,
Mm.
this is, you have to practice this for years.
Yes, absolutely.
Wow. Tell us about when Johanna and Joanna met and did
Oh.
this whole ice cold pool thing.
That's one of the, I mean, after that first day, I filmed with Joanna that I just told you about, the day they met must be the second most special day and event from the filmmaking process. The ladies had not met before. I had sort of introduced them afar. They had not even spoken before that day that they
Wow.
came to
Okay.
meet in Helsinki, and they knew of each other. I'd, briefed them both well, and obviously both of them knew what they were going to be doing, and they were both looking forward to meeting each other. And on the day that we filmed that scene that you see in the film where they meet, I I managed to keep them apart
Wow.
until
It
that
really
moment.
shows. It really shows.
Yeah,
It's like really, real emotions there. You can feel it. I mean, what a touch you have made in so many scenes in this movie. Wow.
thank
Thank
you.
you.
It was just a decision that I thought, no, I'm not going to let them meet until the camera is there, because we would have lost that bit of magic.
Absolutely.
And
What a great decision. Yeah,
yeah,
absolutely.
the magic was there, and what followed was just amazing. They were like sisters, that had always kind of known each other from that moment. Half an hour later, they were in the pool in their as wetsuits, and we sort of had to like hurry up to keep up with them because they got on so well, and the whole thing just organically developed so beautifully that at that point, many of my wishes came true, because I had hoped that they would get along. But obviously, even I, as a writer, couldn't have seen what followed and how they connected. But it was just amazing to see. And I think that's one of the most beautiful things about this film is that connection between the two women. For me, it was just beautiful to see and to witness, and to still know that they look out for each other. And wow.
Yeah, it felt like a little bit, as I can imagine, that they had known each other for, like when they go into the pool, maybe they had been, interacting with each other maybe for months, but obviously they had not done that.
No.
I feel like maybe what happened there, I can imagine, like, I'm trying to imagine, I mean, these powerhouses, these women, wow. I think, don't you think they had, kind of an understanding with each other, being, do what they have done in the world? Like they are just uh, doing, like going such out of the box stuff, and they had maybe that understanding between them.
Yeah, and I could see this before I brought them together, because I knew Johanna and I had got to know Joanna. I could tell that they would have so much to talk about and so much to share. But what came was just amazing. It was just like almost like two little girls on a playground. When
Absolutely, yeah.
yeah, and that's how I felt that they were.
Yeah,
Uh,
in the pool, it was just, I was like, wow, they're just like two young girls in a playground going to a swimming pool. But it was amazing, their strengths. Obviously, they are very strong, and when she goes into the pool, Joanna goes into the ice cold, like I could feel the cold. Whoa. And you know and then Johanna is like, just go in, and she's like calming her down and just like telling her, exactly what to think, and all of that, and you're like, maybe I could do that. you know and it's amazing how, and then she starts to swim, and it's unbelievable.
mm-hmm.
I
Yeah, it
mean,
was.
I've tried cold water, Minna, and this is probably colder than that.
It's very cold. Yeah, it was amazing what happened in there. That scene where you see Joanna go for the cold for the first time was filmed on the second day of them meeting in Finland. We traveled to a place called Heinola, about an hour and a
Beautiful.
half drive from Helsinki to a magical forest, this cottage where Johanna trains for her world record attempts, a very special place. And yeah, I felt like I was going to school somehow because Johanna really was the master there. She knows what she does with cold and what she does under the ice. And I worked very closely together with her on this. And obviously, Johanna knew what she was going to be doing. And Johanna prepared her so well for it. And
Obviously.
what you see in the film is exactly how it went. Um, that's it's all totally genuine.
Hmm.
They did not rehearse anything. There was no chance for that really.
And they didn't need to, obviously.
No. And the elements, the cold weather and filming in cold weather, it really doesn't give you many chances. You have to kind of just like get it. And thankfully, we did. We spent 2 days at the cottage, and on the first day they did the cold um, treatment. Joanna did incredibly well. Incredibly long time she spent there the first time. I could not believe it. I was, taking time on my watch, like, okay, she's still in there.
Wow, my
Uh,
God. Okay.
I think that really told me even more about her mental strength, that she
Oh,
could she could do the cold so well.
hello, Gabrielle.
Hi,
Welcome.
how are you? I just wanted to duck in and say hello. I'm sorry for joining later.
No, I
Hi.
Hi,
think
Minna.
we're having such a great chat about the movie, and I'm asking all my questions. And wow, I mean, I'm just finding out that so much of the footage is just completely, see, they didn't meet each other. The both of the star characters, Joanna and Johanna. I hope I'm, distinguishing the names well. They hadn't met before, and we see it in the movie when they meet for the first time, Gabrielle. And you
Wow.
feel it. And Minna did that on purpose, not having them meet. And it's such a magical moment in the film.
Mm-hmm.
Um, Also, so we're going, I wanted to ask you about the cinematographers and some of the, visual stuff. It's beautiful. And I was
Mm-hmm.
thinking, there's so huge contrasts in this movie. It's like the crazy waves, and then you have freezing water, like frost, and it's so
Mm.
huge contrast. So you get everything in this movie. You get like beautiful image. You have characters, phenomenal characters with such a connection, and then the story. I mean,
Yeah.
oh my God, it's a mind-blowing movie, Gabrielle, in so many
Yeah,
ways.
I can't
Maybe
wait to
you
see it.
have
I'm
some
sorry.
questions. Yes. Maybe
Yeah,
you have
I
some
don't have
questions.
questions yet because I haven't actually had the time to see it, but I'm going to hope to see it over this weekend. Um,
For
it
sure.
looks fantastic. I love the poster so much. I was telling Kathleen.
Mm-hmm.
And I
Thank
mean, the
you.
whole film is beautiful.
I think the film is a bit like a woman. If you think, we have a still side, and then there is the more explosive side. I think, um, I love working with extremes, and in this film, the big waves and then the big silence under the ice, they really spoke to me. And there's something that I don't know, I think it's just a very um, essential um, element in all of us. Hopefully, we have those sides to us that we can, find the stillness, and then we can find that big something that we're really passionate about, and we're, going to go towards no matter what. I think, to me, it speaks on a philosophical level, so much about this and about um, you know, facing your demons.
Mm.
Um,
Absolutely. Yeah.
Yeah.
So I was saying about the cinematography. You have you had two cinematographers, Tim and Sake.
that's right.
Yeah. So I mean, they must have been, over the moon with, the landscapes and filming in those areas, right? And those waves.
Yeah,
How was
they.
it for them? Yeah. Tell us,
Uh,
please.
Thank you. Yeah, Sake I know previously from working at Yle, a Finnish broadcasting company, and we've done some projects before. And Sake came to the project, and he really wanted to do it. I think mostly because of the locations and the possibilities that those would offer for a cinematographer. It's not every day you get to do
Absolutely.
something like
Yeah.
this. And
It's a totally
Mm.
unique challenge, isn't it? To shoot
yeah,
that kind of environment.
yeah, I have to say I'm really impressed with Sake, how he took everything on. He even drove from Finland to Portugal to shoot the waves last year when we were there for 3.5 weeks, and we needed a car, and he decided he was going to drive there himself. And
Wow.
it just shows the commitment, and the rest of the team were the same. And Tim Bonaiden, who is the surf cinematographer, he is kind of a winter resident in Nazaré that I was very
Mm.
lucky to meet on my first trip to kind of work out the conditions in Nazaré. This was January 2019. And was very lucky to bump into Tim. He came to offer me some help if I needed some help filming surfing, and of course I did. And so he gave me his business card, and I contacted him proper when I got back to Finland to plan the rest of the shoots and how we were going to film the surfing. Because I mean, just to film those waves, it's a really dangerous
It's
mission.
very dangerous, right? I mean,
Yeah,
it's not just the aesthetic of what they are dealing with from a cinematography point of view, but it's extremely dangerous. It's more than challenging, right?
beyond.
So Tim was then, on the water. He was just following them and filming.
That's
Okay.
right.
I was
Him,
like, I was thinking, how was this filmed? I was thinking, is there a drone there? Like, and yeah, obviously there was a specific person doing that. Oh my God! Wow. Okay.
Tim is one of the rare cinematographers who actually goes in the water with his, red epic weapon.
Wow.
and
Wow.
uh, and in a water housing it weighs about 12 kilos. And the real like scary thing for me was when we first spoke on Skype. And Tim told me how after 40 years of filming surf, he still doesn't sleep the night before a
Oh,
shoot in Nazareth. I thought, oh my
amazing.
God, what am I making him do? And then, then he went on to tell me that, but this is what he really wants to do. He's always after the best shot, the next best shot. A bit like a fisherman, is always after the bigger fish. He's like that with his
Mm.
cinematography, and the way he does it is amazing. I mean, it's team effort. Obviously, he doesn't go there alone. He goes there on the back of a jet ski with a very, confident driver, very experienced driver, who is there to look after him. If he falls off, he catches
Mm.
him. This is how the surfing there works. That they work in pairs. There's the driver and the surfer, and with the filming is the same. There's the driver and the cinematographer, and they go there as a team. And the cinematographer has his feet strapped onto this jet ski, so that when they have to suddenly move out of the way of the next big wave, and the ski might make a sudden move, that he doesn't fall off. I mean, that must be the scariest thing ever to fall into
Yeah.
that sea. I mean, um, it's beyond me how people survive there still. And I've made this film and I've spoken to lots of people, but I'm still like, can't believe it when I see it. It's just too big.
Wow, this is so interesting.
Yeah.
Did you, Minna, did you think of uh do you have any thoughts of like developing a narrative from it? You know, like a feature film?
Oh, that's just a wonderful question. I would love to. I would love to. If I found someone to support me, I'd love
Well,
to
you
do.
should try the labs, you know, it's like it's such a great idea because I think it's something I have no personal, it seems so brave and overwhelming, but I think for some of what you said about what it is for women, like that's very striking. And I think there are, the sea is womanly. I feel it's like a powerful force that I feel is very female.
Mm-hmm.
I
Absolutely agree.
don't recall that that's been done, and I think from the insights that you must have gained, from the real world and these kind of, the intimate knowledge that you now know. That's a wonderful kicking off point, for a narrative, because it's sort of more than just a sport or a passion or, I mean, I just think it has so many resonances. And I'm sure in Finland there are producers and labs, European labs that certainly Kathleen knows about. I mean, I do also, where you could develop it.
Mm-hmm. It's a good idea. Thank you. It's something that I would like to do in the future. I would like to also, do fiction. I
Yes.
haven't yet, and it's something on the back of my mind as something for the future. And yeah, I definitely want to. I don't feel I'm finished with this topic yet. That's the
Yeah.
strange thing at the moment, that I
Mm.
don't feel I'm done. I mean, I'm kind of done, but the film is done and it's living its own life. But I feel that my relationship with the sea, it's not done. I'm an Aquarian, and
Oh,
probably
Oh,
part of it, but I just feel that there is, like you said, the sea is very female.
yeah.
I totally agree with you guys. Yes, absolutely. And this is Gabriel, this is such a, you always come with these great ideas, and of course your chain of thought is like, yes, make a film out of it. And
Well, yeah, we should have. Oh,
absolutely.
what would be wonderful would be a kind of, we should talk to Kathleen about this. Like, it would be wonderful to have a lab that was about the sea and
Mm-hmm.
for women,
And connecting
where,
it together for
I mean,
sure.
Finland has so much coastline, and Iceland is nothing but coastline. And
Mm-hmm.
so is Ireland, actually, where I'm from. Um, but, that would be sort of a fun thing to explore. I think it's just such a rich subject, which you obviously have now this like incredible knowledge, Minna, and you say it's not done for you. There's so much more,
Mm-hmm.
to be done.
Yeah.
And it's something that wasn't really even open to women, although I think historically in places like Hawaii, I mean, it has a historical through line, right, for women, but
Yeah.
then for so long, women weren't even involved at all.
No. And like with surfing, the big waves, women for so long they weren't in the same lineup, and they are now. And but there are so many stories. I think,
Yes.
love to have the opportunity to do more. I think I have so much to give based on the knowledge gained and people I've met. and people that have been in touch with me after they've seen the film. I mean, I have never had so much feedback about anything I've done before in my
Wow.
life. Never ever. My email has been full, my phone has been full, and I'm still here amazed at
Mm.
what happened. And it struck a chord, and I think when you strike a chord, you have to think about what's your next step.
Yes, it's bigger than you.
Yes.
It's also a great film, I think, to show to girls, you know,
Mm-hmm.
as a sort of to break open the idea of what's possible.
Exactly.
I mean, there are so many things I think we as women want to, or we need inspiration. And they're very important jobs and roles to pursue in life. But I think there's something kind of atavistic and very powerful and sort of warrior-like and, you know, definitely like so inspiring. I just imagine showing this to uh, girls, you know, I mean, young girls, you know, in schools or in some kind of program, because it's as empowering, I think, and as exciting as like being an astronaut. I know a woman who was an astronaut and then stopped. When she finished doing that, she traveled. Her job was to go around for NASA, you know, and meet girls and sort of inspire them to follow that career. But I think this is actually as important because it's another whole realm of you know, prowess and exploration and strength and sort of beauty, and also a connection to the natural world.
Mm-hmm.
Um, you know, I mean, Kathleen is so wonderful. I'm sure she's thought of everything. But I would, you know, it's a film that should be shown in an educational setting too.
I totally agree. And
I,
it really does not surprise me, Minna, that you are getting this much
No, I
feedback
agree.
to this film. And I'm truly congratulations with making this movie. It is phenomenal.
thank you.
And you probably, it's going to inspire so many women around the world who see it.
I hope so.
Yeah, I know it. I'm sure. Like I know it really for me anyway. So
Thanks so much. I'm really chuffed to hear this, and it really fills my heart with joy because I love this job. I love you know, storytelling and filmmaking, and I'm also a mom of a 12-year-old girl. So you know, girls world is a very important world for me, and my daughter, she's seen this film a few times and she still really loves it.
oh,
And you know, her school friends have seen it, and we had a very special screening with her friends before the film came out, just in my living room, because I wanted to test to see how the girls would react to it. And that night I won't forget. It was very special, and now actually I have been contacted by a few schools and teachers.
Wonderful.
Yeah, and I've already done a couple of Q&As with secondary school classes in Finland, and I want to do more. I absolutely want to connect with the, you know, kids, youngsters, because also in the future I want to make more films for a young audience and connect with them to
Hmm.
find out what they think.
Yeah. Yes, exactly. I think that would be wonderful. That's a great thing to pursue.
Mm-hmm.
absolutely
You know,
so important.
I'm sorry to leave you, but I actually have a class I have to teach. So I'm just so thrilled to at least say hello to you, Minna. And I hope in Iceland or Finland or somewhere we'll actually get to meet in person one day.
I hope so.
Hopefully.
Thank you so much for coming along, and
Yeah,
you know,
thank you. And thank you for your beautiful film and for joining the festival. And I will see you on a wave somewhere.
exactly.
Bye.
Bye,
Bye.
Gabrielle. Oh, that was nice having her looking in a little bit. Of course, I think Gabrielle thinks in stories. You know, I think she sees stories everywhere, and I think that's a fascinating mind she
Yeah,
has with that.
absolutely.
um, I'm just thinking how to. I'm thinking I would love if you could maybe to end this off a little bit. If you would like to tell us about how it was the crew. I mean that you were. I can count like maybe 6 or 7. So you must have been very intimate and get to know each other. And I thought it was very important what you said earlier about finding the right people to work with. Uh, because it's like you're very close to each other for a certain amount of time, and it really matters who you
Mhm.
work with. If you could tell us a little bit about how the atmosphere was and how that really helped the movie, just to finish off our Q&A.
Well, thank you. I mean, one thing that's really important to me, it's always been, and it just gets stronger. And certainly, with this film, I wanted to make a point of making a film where we wouldn't sensationalize the main character's trauma. And I feel I've worked with lots of people that have had difficult pasts and difficult nows, and I've come to the conclusion that the best way to go in to something like that and someone's life is to go with a team that you know kind of share that with you, that are willing to work gently and kindly with respect, um, you know to the people around. And I managed to find such people. Most of them were people that I knew from before, having been in the industry for a while. And now that I could make my own decisions on who I wanted to work with, I went with people that I knew, you know, that could share this with me. And with this package of approaching this um, difficult topic that you see in the film, with a group that were there as a family, um, I felt at peace. Um, as a filmmaker, that I didn't have to fight with anyone to do things in a certain way, and I made sure that everyone felt comfortable and that they were safe. There was a great feeling of safety, even though we did very dangerous things. There was still this huge feeling of safety, and I think that was created by everyone that was there. And I think it's such an important thing to think about what sort of a feeling you want to create on the set. And I direct firmly but with love and with softness. I think it's important to show that as a director, because when you give that, you get the same back. When you open yourself up, the person in front of you opens up. With me, it's always what you see is what you get. I'm the same here that I'm on the set, and I feel very comfortable with that, and hopefully people around me feel very comfortable with that. And certainly from the feedback that I got from my crew was that I managed to create a really nice atmosphere and a good spirit. We had we would call it the Holy Spirit.
Oh, okay.
Holy Spirit was with us because we had a very
Oh, I
difficult
love
journey
that.
many other ways. The money was a pain in the ass to get, and so the whole kind of the feeling that I had making this, and never for a moment regretting that I set my foot in Portugal and decided to go for this film. Uh, yeah, it just had to happen like this. And I'm really pleased that you are seeing kind of behind the what you see in the film, that you are sensing that, you
Yeah,
know,
it
the,
reflects
yeah,
reflects completely into the movie, and I think it's so true what you're saying, that it really matters in, you know, the end project, how the atmosphere and how people work together, finding the
yeah,
right crew.
yeah, it's
Boy,
everything.
were you lucky and they lucky to have you.
Yeah, I would be nothing without them. So big thanks go to all my crew and all the safety crew in the ocean. Those
Wow.
guys are like guardian angels, and
Right?
yeah, they really are. And I have so much respect for them and for everyone that I worked with, and hope to go on to making more films like this and with the same spirit, same heart. I think that's really important. And it's a kind of a um, kind of a like a standard that I've set for myself. That if I don't feel that it's coming from here, whatever it is that I'm setting out to do, then I won't do it. Because I think it reflects it. You can see it between the lines in the script.
Yeah.
You can hear it. It's so important to be in it 100%.
That's I think it's so wonderful to hear you describe this, and you know, the Holy Spirit. Wow. I mean, this is it sounds like an amazing production. Um, are you I'm gonna say goodbye very soon, but I have to ask, is there anything, you know, that you're working on now, something exciting happening, or something you want to share with us?
Of course, there's always something happening, and a rolling stone and all that, doesn't stop. I have to look ahead. I have just test shot something
Okay.
yesterday. Actually, it's a top secret project still, but it's a documentary, and I'm hoping to get that off the ground. I will be working on my pitch in the next weeks, and hoping to find some funding for this. And yeah, with this next one, I won't be taking as bigger risk as I did with the first one. Just just can't. But I'm hoping, I'm taking steady steps. And I have another project that's on my desk. It's been there for about a year and a half. It's an 8-part documentary series that
Mm.
I'm developing with a team based here in Finland and in Australia. And we'll see what comes of that.
Yes, I know for myself, I will definitely be excited to see what you do next. And hopefully, I will know soon if I follow you on social media, or maybe it's just going to be a secret.
It's worth following me on social media. It will be there when I can
Okay.
say something. And really, what I want to do is make more films that inspire people, and that can give people that make people feel. That's really important to me. It's my calling, and that's what I'm going towards.
I want to thank you so much, Minna, for giving us an insight into the whole project, doing the project, working on it, and how your director's style is. Uh, Thank you so much. And I think a lot of us are going to learn from that. And I wish you best of luck with your new projects.
Thank you. I'm keeping everything crossed.
I'm also there with you.
Thank you so much for having us. So excited about the festival, and thank you for the work you do for us female directors. It's from the heart.
It truly is.
Keep it up.
Keep
You're
it up. Keep it up. Keep on going. So